This is the way it feels to move through summer in Lululemon. Iconic Align softness without the front seam. For our smoothest look and feel ever, summer won't know what hit it. Stretch your limits in the non-stop flexibility of the new Lululemon Align No-Line Pant in select stores and at Lululemon.com.
Hey, it's Dan Bova, writer and editor at Entrepreneur Media and host of our weekly show, How Success Happens. So look, I know we are all busy, and as much as you'd love to listen to 2 or 3 hour long podcasts featuring my melodious voice, you just don't have the time. So that's why we created this snack series to give you a quick hit of inspiration. So let's talk about this week's featured speakers. Over the years, I've had the chance to speak with and once work out with this married couple who are absolute sports legends. Volleyball superstar Gabby Reece and big wave surfer Laird Hamilton. So independently, they are pioneers in their sports. And collectively, they are the husband and wife co-founders of Laird Superfood, Laird Apparel, and XPT, which is an extreme performance training system. So when I worked out with them, it was fun, it was exhausting, and it is the reason that I am the chiseled Adonis I am today. It's a shame you can't see me because I am not lying. I am like super ripped, seriously. So anyway, I spoke to them a bunch about Laird Superfood, which offers a range of plant-based superfood products like green juice mixes, creamers, and my favorite, coffee. We had a great conversation, and as you will hear, they like to give each other a little guff. And I asked them what's the difference in how they've found success in sports versus how they approach finding success in business. So here's what they had to say. When you're an athlete, correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not, as you may be able to tell, you can just try harder, or you can pull from something inside yourself to get over whatever obstacle is presenting itself in the ocean or on the volleyball court. But now you're in a business that has a lot of different people and a lot of different moving parts, and you can't just will something to work. What's that experience like from what you're used to now running this business or businesses?
Well, I think for both of us, it's different. You know, Laird being an individual athlete, but his teacher is Mother Nature, which is maybe also a very brutal teacher. And for me, having coaches, having someone who understands something better or different than you, and then being willing to listen and try to learn from them. It's not so different in business where Laird and I come together. We know what our values are. So it's saying, hey, we're committed to this idea of the ingredients and cost and taste. And after that, we're going to stay open to the people who certainly have more experience, let's say in the CPG space, where you have a CEO that's run a publicly traded company or worked in this way. So you're really always in school and you only get dogmatic about the principles, the bumpers that you create for your company, and the rest. You're also at times a soldier for the people around you who understand the climate and the business moves, and the grit that you get from sport helps you in business because you need a lot of it.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of lessons that sport teaches you, right? You're going to be able to implement that. Those are life lessons, right? Like Gabby said, the grit, that failure doesn't stop you. You don't take no for an answer. Like there's just certain things that you're going to use that are going to be beneficial that you learn that sport teaches you. Hard work, you're always going to benefit from hard work. That perseverance where you just continue and not be discouraged. All those things that helped you in sport are going to help you in business too. They're going to be, and you can definitely will things. There's never a time in life that you won't be able to use some will, no matter what genre you're in. So sometimes sport is a little more obvious, and when it's an individual thing as well.
But business is certainly more fickle in a very different way than sports. So that's something you're always going to have to get
it's not more straightforward.
Right.
It's not so straightforward. There's some other outside influences that sport can have. I mean, nature has it. But so when you get used to being at the mercy of things like that, you're not, that sometimes just that's the way it is and you have to deal with it. If you have that kind of mentality, I think it's going to be helpful because you're going to run into it no matter what. It's not going to just be all successes. And the truth is that the most of the learning and most of the growth comes from when the things are tight. Yeah. So let's just say that.
What's the equivalent of the 100-foot wave in business or being down and it's game point in volleyball?
When you make a real product like we do, when you're in a consumable good product, it is interesting because you're playing almost by different rules than somebody, let's say, who's in technology, who's making a chip. So you're just like, it's this. Do I believe in what I'm doing? Have I prepared as much as I can? Is my team as dialed in as they can be? Okay, I'm going to focus on what's the goal. And I'm going to do my very best and execute. And in this moment, being fearful or apprehensive or is not going to help me. So that's, I think, the equivalent of, and I'd say for Laird on a long hold down, it's just dealing with like, oh, we need more market penetration and we need this and that. Okay, here we are. We'll roll.
But one thing's for sure is that there's nowhere to go if you don't have a good product that people love. So no matter what chip or creamer or instant latte or greens formula you have, you have to have something. Then we can deal with figuring out how to have success after that. But if you don't have something, you can have all the greatest marketing and maybe you're going to be around for a year or two and you could have some success. But when I talk about the success of the 100-foot wave, that's years and years of preparation and surviving. And then at one point, you're going to be able to take advantage of it. Right. I mean, the truth is, if you're not there, you're definitely not going to be. And if you're not ready, then there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, that's why I keep buying Mega Millions tickets, because I'm like, one day you got to buy it if you're going to win $1 billion.
Well, it's hard to win without having one. That's for sure.
I love lottery ticket buyers. Yeah. I love it.
And then, being that they are a happily married couple, I asked them how they balance their personal lives versus their business lives. So when you are developing, say, a new product or a new SKU, and you are having a disagreement about the packaging or the name or whatever, how do you deal with that? And do you have we talk about business during this time of day and only this time of day, or does it bleed into everything?
No, it's usually at real critical moments. She'll bring it up at appropriate moments.
You mean inappropriate?
That too.
Yeah.
Pick your battles. Like certain things I don't care about. Gabby and I have built some houses together, and that's where you're really going to find out about what goes on. They say it breaks relationships up. I've seen it do it. You got to choose what's important to you, and you both can't decide that everything's important to you. You got to kind of know where your alley is, right? What you're concerned with, and also give credit to the other person. And maybe they're better at it. It's like Gabby's going to be better at textures and colors and certain things, and I'm going to be better with structure and certain other things.
And
right?
I'm more of the consumer. I'm the shopper. So when we're looking at certain things, it'd be like, well, how would that look to me on the shelf?
Right.
And Laird is so supremely interested in ingredients, and we'll always throw to him packaging and things like that. But what we find is generally we kind of live in the same neighborhood. But every once in a while we do have a difference of opinions.
Yeah.
And I think based on what it is then that's the defer to the other. So it's sort of like, what zone are we talking about?
Yeah.
And if it's something that is sort of more Laird oriented, I defer, and vice versa. And
so what she's saying is, I say, yes, honey, you're right. A lot.
I was picking that up.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you understood what was being said. It's like what's being said versus what I mean. That kind of stuff.
No. Yeah. But listen, it's sometimes, there is a moment of tension and then we get over it. We've been doing this a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
And ultimately we're on the same team. We have the same goals. And so within that, you work it out.
Yeah, and if one of us is really feels that strongly about it, it's probably better to just give it to them.
Yeah,
sure. It's yours. Like, you really feel that way?
Yeah,
great.
Go for it.
Knock yourself out. Yeah.
That's very
because then if it doesn't work out, then they can also just stand back and go, well, I mean, you wanted it like that, so now you got it. So, how'd that work out?
That's amazing. That's great. So one other thing that I think, I mean, just talking to you, you're obviously like so authentically connected to these products, but you know, your Instagram posts about it are awesome. They're just so authentic. You could feel your enthusiasm for your own products, and I think that is a lot why they're so successful, because you seem to have a genuine love and passion for it. So I think that's really cool.
Well, every day we're using that stuff every day. I mean, we're consuming. I mean, the amount of packages that come, and when they don't come in time and we're getting low, I'm always looking like, okay,
because
man,
we give it away.
Where is this stuff?
Let's give it away.
Yeah. She always gives it away.
Like, did you
she gives it away.
I was like,
literally gives it.
You know, we have a rule in our world, both professionally, individually, and collectively. And we did this when we were even very young in our 20s. If we wouldn't actually use it, I'm not talking about our brands, let's just say a company, we wouldn't endorse it. And I always joke that Laird is actually not capable of lying. I've experienced this for a lot of years. And even sometimes you're like, no, it's okay. I don't need that much of the truth. Laird is not capable of lying. And so that bleeds into everything. And the hope is this was born out of Laird sharing this with his friends, that ultimately all we're trying to do is extend out the sharing part.
Yeah. Extend the family.
Yeah.
Extend the family and let people enjoy. And also knowing what we need gives us an idea what they need, right? So we know that that this stuff's good for them. They need it. Technically, they need it. Like, it's not just like they need it because we want them to need it. No, they need it because they actually need it like we do. I think sometimes we get the challenges we do with this business because of that. If we had other more materialistic goals, we'd probably be doing better at this point, given certain circumstances, just because of that. Because we're not.
We could have been more slippery.
If we weren't, because we're not, and because our intentions are genuine.
But that's also why we still like each other, because at the end, we respect each other, and that's first. These businesses, that's after the real life stuff. You know, you just try to bring those values into your businesses. Yeah.
And it just, you feel good about it too. I've had chances over my career to use things that I didn't believe in, that I didn't want to promote. And I said no to it. And that's probably part of the reason why we're even actually still having conversations, is because we did hold those lines throughout our careers, and it made you could sense that there's a genuineness to what we're saying.
Yeah.
So that's Gabby and Laird. They are as successful and passionate as they are, well, honestly, adorable. Okay, well, that's your snack. Please subscribe to get your weekly quick hit and to get our full show, How Success Happens, delivered and downloaded straight into your dome. And as always, got a question or comment or a guest suggestion? Send me your thoughts at howsuccesshappens@entrepreneur.com. All right, see you next time.